So this is next concept we are discussing, BAPI, which is abbreviated as Business Application Programming Interface. So did you guys heard about APA concept? Not the technically. Did you hear anywhere there are some APIs using for so and so technology, so and so web, so and so level it is using and all. Did you hear about any APIs in the
Yes.
market?
Yeah, yeah.
If you're aware of some regularly using some online sites, right, where we are purchasing products and all. When you place the order, suppose example Amazon or Flipkart, when you place the order, what we supposed to give? We're supposed to give our debit or credit card. Right? When you place that details, it will navigate it to our bank page, if you remember. And it will ask the OTP. We have to verify that, then it will deduct the amount, right? So we log into Flipkart and or Amazon, but it is navigating to Citibank or what are the banks like SDFC, ICC banks, what are the banks we are using. It is, if you observe that URL, it is showing the bank URLs, right? They are integrating these bank related APIs in Amazon or Flipkart web applications. So based on our card, it will identify that which bank it is relates, and it will navigate to that particular bank for the OTP verification. Okay, so how that particular code is calling, that is the API programming which developed by those particular banks. Okay, and they have their websites. If you see, every bank, they have their own website. Okay, there also we can do these transactions and all. There also we can do the purchasing. Basically, the particular piece of code to validate their bank or to deduct the amount by OTP verification from the vendors that they created by the banks, that we call as a API program. Some piece of code they created for so and so activity, not for everything, right? Where we can log in bank accounts for the online and we can do many activities. But in this particular website, vendor website, what we are doing, we are just paying the amount. We are not credit, we are not transferring, we are not doing anything. We are just paying the amount for that particular product. That is the only particular activity they've designed through API, and they're exposing those APIs to the online. Anyone can consume those APIs. Whoever wants to use that particular bank into their website, they can use. It's not only the banking website. We can see number of online gateways are there, like Roser Pay, Pay You Money, like Paytm gateways are there, some UPI gateways are there, right? They're exposing their piece of code into the online. Anyone can consume that piece of code, right, in the form of APIs. When it comes to the SAP also having APIs, we call it as a business APIs. You see here, B plus APIs, business APIs, we call it as a BAPI. Okay, so business application programming interface. So even from SAP point of view, the customers who are using non-SAP technologies like .NET or PHP websites or Microsoft software products, it can be any kind of non-SAP products. If they want to use SAP application in their SAP functionality in their application, like creation of sales, creation of purchase orders, creation of banks also we can consider, creation of house banks, creation of vendors, customers. If you wanted to do that activity from their application by calling SAP APIs, they can use this BAPI concept. Okay, it is not only for calling outside of SAP, it can be inside also we can use. Okay, how we can implement this BAPI? It should be in the form of function models. Function models we discussed, right, as part of modulation concept includes subroutine function models. So all BAPIs are in the form of function models only. And these function models are part of the business object repository, then only it will act as a BAPIs. Now we are going to discuss how to identify the BAPI for particular requirement and how to create the report for that BAPIs. And next session we'll see how to create custom BAPI if the BAPI is not available. Okay. So BAPIs is a remote enable function model. Why we are saying it's a remote enable function model? We can call remotely from any other outside of SAP. Okay. It can be any technology we can call outside of SAP. Okay. So which is used to communicate between SAP to SAP, SAP to non-SAP. SAP to SAP, that is different scenario. And the main purpose is SAP to non-SAP. We can also call within SAP to SAP. So outside of the SAP means we can say outside of the system. Outside of the system means it can be SAP system or it can be non-SAP system also. That is the way we have two options here: SAP to SAP, SAP to non-SAP. So before going to the BAPI, we also need to understand business object repository. Business object repository, which is that the main thing of business for any customers, we can say. So all the business related activities are configured here for BAPI related, like sales order, purchase order. It is not all the activities we are exposing from outside of SAP. We are exposing only limited concepts, limited functional areas only. Only those can consume outside of SAP. Okay, all these related areas like sales, purchase, delivery, or bank account creations and all, those is configured in business repository object or business object repository. Okay, I'll show that how when we are identifying BAPI. So transaction code for BAPI is BAPI or SE37. Mainly we are using SE37. We have to implement in SE37. Then we can expose in business object repository. Okay. So what is the use of BAPI? Here you can say BAPI is, first we'll see how to create the BAPI. BAPI we have to create, first we have to create RFC function model. RFC means remote enable function model. RFC means remote function call. Okay, it is not there here. Or we can say remote enable function model. First we need to create this. Then we have to insert this remote enable function model into business objects. Okay, without inserting into business object, this will not act as a BAPI. That will be act as the only function model, RFC function model. Once we add it as into the business object, then it will act as a BAPI. Finally, it will be created. So what is the uses of BAPI? Okay, we can create the reports. As of now, we create a classical interactive ALV reports, right? There we are using select queries. Instead of select queries, we can use BAPIs also. Because inside BAPI also, there are select queries only. BAPIs can be used for select, read, update, delete, identify the values, check the existence checks of some content. There are a number of methods are available for BAPIs. So the main usage is we can generate the reports, or we can use for communication between the different servers, SAP to SAP or SAP to non-SAP. Or BAPIs are using for migration also, data migration. Data migration means bank creation, we discuss in BDC, right? We can also use BAPI for bank creation, similar to same. Report will be as it is like BDC, but in BDC we are using call transaction. Instead of call transaction, we'll use BAPI. We'll use the F4 file name, geo upload, everything we'll use. After geo upload, will not call that recording code. Instead of recording code, we'll call the BAPI and we can insert the data in data. BAPI also can be used data migration. When there is a data migration concept comes, as a developer, we have to prefer BAPI first. Then we need to go to the BDC concept. Why we need to prefer BAPI means BAPI is a very, compared to the BDC, BAPI is very fast. Okay. Why there is a very fast? If you remember that internal table concept, I was explained that 3 layers in the architecture, system architecture, software architecture. So any software nowadays we are calling 3-tier architecture: presentation layer, application layer, database layer. Presentation layer means the foreground part which we are able to feel that visually, like screens and all. We are able to see that is the presentation part or graphical user interface. Or simply we can say we can understand this is the presentation part, SAP GUI. We are logging in, we are opening all the transactions and all that is a presentation. Application layer means it's a programming part, how program is working and all. And database means where we are storing the data. So BDC is working through GUI because we did the recording, program screens, we recorded, right, last 2 sessions. And we are executing BDC through that screen recording. Okay, so BDC is running through presentation. After presentation, what is their application layer? Then it will go to the database layer. So it is going through all 3 layers BDC. When it comes to the BAPI will not go to the presentation layer. It will directly execute in the application layer. What is next step after application layer? It's a database one. Understood this point?
Yeah, Kishore.
Yeah. So there are 3 layers in the architecture. presentation for the foreground purpose. Application layer, it is a programming, and database layer where we are storing the data. Okay, so BDC is running through presentation layer because we are recording the screen through SSDB. Okay, same thing we are executing in the background. Even if you're executing the background, also it will go through the screen. Whatever the screen validations is there, all the validations it will do. That one, then it will go to it will execute the code in the background code, which is the application layer, and it will store in the database. But BAPIs, when we are calling this BAPIs, it will be run always application layer. Okay. Next to application layer, we have database layer. Okay. Once it is updated, whatever the messages will receive, the same will replay in the application layer only. There is no link between. There is no link with the presentation layer. So that is why this is very fast. We are skipping the first layer, right? So we should always prefer the BAPI first. If there is no BAPI, then we can able to create the custom BAPI. If you are not able to create due to some restrictions, then we can go with the BDC concept. This is difference between BAPI and RFC. I was mentioning that function model. Function models, we have again BAPI level, we have two types. Like we can simply create only RFC function model, which is not the part of business object repository. If you put it in business object repository, that will act as a BAPI. Okay. So interview point of view, they will ask differences between this. So both are using for communication between SAP to SAP, non-SAP to non-SAP. BAPI part of business object. It can communicate with other BAPIs. RFC is standalone function model. It cannot communicate with other RFCs. Okay, if you check some BAPIs inside BAPIs also there, few objects level. But RFC inside RFC, it is not possible. So BAPIs can be used object-oriented concept, advanced programming, but RFCs are using only procedure-oriented concept. That is a difference. Important we should follow while creating BAPI or BAPI within the BAPI also. You can observe this since SAP also follow this rules and regulations while creating the BAPI. BAPI must not contain call transaction. What is this call transaction? In which concept we executed this call transaction? Did you remember this syntax?
BDC.
Yes. So how BDC is executing? Through presentation layer, just now mentioned. So, but BAPI is executing directly in the application layer. Since BDC is part of presentation layer, this should not be written within the BAPI level. So BAPI must not contain call transaction activity. And BAPI must not invoke commit work. Instead of commit work, we are always using BAPI transaction commit. What is this commit work means? If you're doing some database updates like updating of data or deleting of data, or more into update and delete activity. Select reading of data, there is no impact. But if you're updating something or if you're deleting something in database, so we should use commit work keyword after that activity immediately. Otherwise, data will not properly update or data will not properly delete. In the normal programming I'm talking, it's not mandatory for every development, but major developments we use this commit work. But if you're using BAPI, we should not use commit work. Instead of that, we need to use BAPI transaction commit. This is mainly required when we are doing update and delete activities, not for reading, not for displaying. So we are just displaying and reading. It is just extracting data. We are not modifying anything. Right? That time is not required. More into modifying of data, deleting of data. That time we use. And BAPI structure must not contain includes. Okay. Structure means import and exporting parameters we are using in function model, right? There we should use each and every field. We should not use include concept. Includes means not modulation includes I'm talking. And table level also we can use include concept. I'll show that one of the standard table. Once it is open, I'll show. Okay, so there is no functional dependence between any two BAPIs. Functional dependency means if suppose if you wanted to create sales order, okay, so some dependency objects we should create in different transactions also. Okay, but in SAP, when SAP is designed BAPIs, one single BAPI is sufficient for the single requirement. So if you want to create sales order, all sales order related activities are available in single BAPI. You don't need to use in different BAPI first, then you need to call this BAPIs more. There is no concept like that. But if you use BDC, sometimes we need to execute first one transaction, then we need to run the next transaction in BDCs and all. But if you are using on BAPI specific to one related activity, you don't need to use any other BAPIs. That BAPI is sufficient for that functional activity. All dependent requirements, all part of this importing of BAPI. You can pass everything in the single BAPI only for that particular activity. There are some dependent activities also that we are trying to say here. And BAPI never calls terminate program. What is terminate program? If you see in the classical report, right, and function model, some data types are mismatching, or some in interactive report we see if it is overflowing of 24, 21 lists, we got some red color screens, ABAP dumps we call, or runtime errors. So if there is an issue with BAPI never calls the terminate program. Instead of that, it will capture the messages. Whenever there is an error occurred in BAPI, it will return those errors through the return parameter. We have a output parameter. It will return all the error messages. It will not at all call the runtime error. That is the main advantage in the BAPI. That is why we prefer. And BAPI also fast. BAPI also will not throw any runtime errors. If there is a runtime error in the production, that will be the issue in majority of the clients. There should not be any runtime errors in the production. There are many, as the developers, we follow many rules while developing the code. Still, some cases, some developments will throw the runtime errors in the production environment. But in the data migration scenario, if you use BAPIs or more advantage never calls a terminate program. That is why we can prefer the BAPI first, then we can choose the BDC next. Okay, so BAPI must not contain dialog programs. Dialog programs, it is specific to call transaction only. Both are similar. We should not use any call screen syntaxes. Okay, call screen means in module pool visa, right? Calling screen 100 to 200, 200 to 300. That should not also part of the BAPI, because call screen means again it will be presentation layer only, right? We are calling some screen means screen is specific to presentation layer, graphical user interface, front end part. Okay, we should not use that code also within the BAPI. Okay, and BAPI must not contain submit reports. There is a keyword called submit. You can call any of the report within the code. If you want to call any of the report within the function module or include any other program, we can call using submit keyword. That is also not preferred here, because if you're calling some program, that program might have the selection screen using parameter select options, right? If there is a selection screen, again, it's a front-end activity, presentation layer. So that is also not preferred. This is all very important while creating the custom BAPI. We'll see in next session. And these are all the methods: get list, get details, get status, existence check, whether sales order is exist, purchase order is exit, create of sales order, creation of sales orders, change, delete. There are a number of different methods also available, but these are all the major methods or in BAPIs. How to identify the BAPI? Okay, these are all the steps. I'll show for purchase order, create, material details, get, and also have one program for materials master data upload. Okay, this is the program for I have to call all the screenshots for material details. You can also try this program. And also how to identify BAPI for the requirement. So let me go to the system.
It can be able to execute 10,000 entries at a time, sir.
Yes. There is no restrictions on database. You can execute lakhs of transactions. Okay. This is very fast.
Okay.
So now I'm going to show ME23. I was explaining this transaction in the 14th session. If you remember finance activities, MM activities, ABAP roles and responsibilities. ME23N for purchase order display, 21 for create, 22 for change, ME23N. This is for display. I'll take one purchase orders first. This is 16N. EQQ is the purchase order table. Just execute and I'll just take any purchase order. I'm just opening purchase orders here right side. This is a purchase order screen display. I can display purchase order here. This is the number I copied from the table. Okay, just displaying the document. Okay, here you can see purchase orders, header information. Okay, you can see the material item information. Okay. This is a screen. I wanted to read this information through BAPI. Okay, now the transaction we know ME23N. Through the transaction, we can identify the BAPI. Okay. So we have two ways. In two ways, we should identify the package. Package is mandatory to identify the BAPIs. So package can be identified either transaction or program of this screen. Okay. So what is the transaction ME23? So SC93 we know, right, how to create the transaction. SC93 is the transaction code to create the transactions. Okay, this we already use into the parameter transaction and selection screen transaction. Here I'll just display ME23, which is created by SAP. Okay, just click on display. This is the transaction code created by SAP under this package. Now we have this package. Double click on this package. You can see it is open in SC21. And SC21 we discussed in the first session, right, how to create the package. It is SC21, but since we navigated from SC93, it is showing SC93 only here. Okay, then click on here, display object list. Through package only we have to go. Or you can directly open this package in SC80 also, same option will come.
SC93 also package code.
SC93?
Also package
No, it's not a package T code. We navigated from SC93 by double clicking on the package name. That is why it is showing SC93. You see here, what is the transaction? This is SC80 transaction. But since we are navigating one screen to another screen, it is showing SC93 only. This is SC80 transaction. If you know the package, you can directly open SC80 like SC80. We can go here, package, select package. You can type like this ME80, ME, and click on display. We'll get these contents. Or you can navigate from one screen to another screen using these buttons instead of opening the transaction, everything, because all are interlinked. Okay, now we got the package. Okay, in this package, I have explained here. Okay, provide the related transaction, click on display object list in the application toolbar. I just click on this package we got, expand the package. Okay, we expanded the package. We have to expand this business engineering. We have to expand this business object types. This is a BOR, okay, business object types. You can see we have number of business object types. Now we are talking about purchase order. Are you able to see the purchase order here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So BUS 2010. You can double click on this purchase orders. We'll get this kind of object types. In this object types, you need to expand these methods. If you expand the methods, we'll get number of methods here. In this methods, you have to check only green color activated lines. Okay, get items. We want to get details. What we're expecting here. We wanted to use. We wanted to identify the BAPI to display the ME23N details. Okay. We can say this is green one, get items, only items will not get a header data. Get items for release, that is also item related. Release is different, a reset release. Get list, get details. We want get details of purchase order, but this is not activate. Okay, get release, create from data, change of purchase order, update purchase order history, get details. Here we have get details. This is which is already stopped. We have get details one, which is the latest one. You can see this is green, right? You just double click on this. You got the pop-up, right? You can see the method get details one. I explained the methods right in the document. We have multiple methods: get list, details, status. These are all the method names. Method names means simply we can say which are the last keyword of or last word of the BAPI. Okay. This is the method get details. Are you able to see this pop-up?
Yes, sir.
If you go here ABAP tab, you can see the BAPI name, which is the APA function. This is the BAPI of purchase orders. If you double click on this, it will go to SC37 because everything we can navigate. Or you can directly copy this and open in SC37 since it is a function model. So I just double click, it is opening in SC37. Okay, you can see it, function model it is showing. BAPI is nothing but a function model. Okay, but it starts with BAPI. I'll show why it starts with BAPI next session. We can execute this BAPI now. Execute because function model can be executed independently, right? See here, purchase order number. I copied some number purchase order. I think I already opened. I'll copy that purchase order number. This is the purchase order. I'll open this purchase order through function model. You can paste the purchase order here, execute. You can see here, we have a PO header information, right? Purchase document number, company code, created date, created by, item, vendor. You can see all the information related to purchase orders. Okay, if you go back, this is exporting parameter. If you go tables, we have item data also here. Written parameter is there. This is common in all these BAPIs, which is retain the messages. You can see error transferring extension data for enhancement. CAEKPO, this is different thing you will not understand. This is part of screen enhancement. Ignore that point. PO item, we can see the items. We have two items, 1 and 2. We can see two items data information. Okay, amount here we can see. We use the sum of one of the table, right? Vendors and purchase orders, purchase item. Okay, plant information, material group. Okay. Understood how BAPI is working now? It is similar to function model. We have some PO schedule information is captured here. When is the delivery date and all? Okay. If you scroll down, we'll get all other information as well. PO history. When it's modified and all, we can see it. History of the PO information. Some other information also captured here. Okay. Understood how to identify BAPI and how to test it. Suppose if you're not finding BAPI for the requirement in these methods and all, if you're not identifying anything, I mean, methods level will not come. Here only we can understand whether the BAPI is available or not. You don't need to go inside. If there is no purchase order here, then there is no BAPI for that particular transaction. Simply, this is one way. Now for another requirement, which is that another requirement, material display. Okay, I'll directly show. Material displays MM03 is the transaction. I'll go SC93 directly. MM03 is a transaction to display materials. We can see the package ME. If you double click the package, then if you go here display object list, it will open same as SC8. You can see what is the package name ME. If you expand business engineering, expand business object. Are you able to see here material? We have only two objects. Are you able to see here material material information, material numbers?
Yes,
Material type is different. where we want only material information. Material types are different concept. Material information we want, only material. We don't have. Through this package, we don't have. Now we'll see what is a program for MM03. I'll go same transaction SC93, MM03. So we just now we check with this package, right? We didn't find this BAPI. We can also check through program and package. If you go this program, this is module pool programming, right? We can check, go to attributes. We can see the package. Under which package this program is saved. You can see this program is saved in different package, MGA. I can double click this package, go to display object list. This is a different package if you see here. We'll try in this package, okay? Business engineering, business object. If you see here, are you able to see the material one?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you have to check transaction package. Transaction might, normal case, most of the 99% transaction program will save in the same package. But because of the higher version now, SAP is updating every day, right? They're updating. Sometimes they are not saving both transaction and program in the same package. So that time you can check in both ways. Okay. So this is the business object for material. Double click, go to methods. You can see get details, material details. We can check here. Display material, we can display. We can edit, delete. Okay, material requirement planning, stock requirement list, get internal numbers. We can check everything. We want to display materials, get details. Okay, check co-op app. You can see here material get details. If you go and execute this, I wanted material M13 to be displayed. Execute. You can see here material information, material description, material type, index sector, material group, product hierarchy. You can see here unit of measures, grass weight, net weight. We can see the material information. Okay. So we gave only material information. That is why we are able to see material. If we give plant also, we can see the plant information. So now how to call this BAPI through report? We'll see that how can we call the BAPI. So this is not the actual report, but we are just trying to understand how to call the BAPI in the report level. Okay. So we identified one BAPI, right, for material display. Example, I'll go C37. Here, right? Yeah, this is the BAPI we identified. The material information. Okay. Now how to call this BAPI in report level? It's kind of function model. So we need this name. Come to the report. Similar to all the function models, we use G upload, G download, F4 filing, BDC group, BDC open group, BDC close group, reuse LV function model, reuse LV grid display, list display, all the function models we use. Similarly, we're going to display these function models as well. Okay. Because BAPI is a form of function models. Standard page heading. So first of all, wherever it is required, BAPI we can call through the call function. You can see it's calling this BAPI. And here, what is a mandatory field? Material. So we have to pass the material and data will come in the importing. Here, importing are also not mandatory. Whatever is required, we can enable. We wanted only these two importings, we can enable those. So whenever you use right side data types, we should use the data types in the same format. So basically in the function models, we can use the same data type, bottom level data type. But when it comes to the BAPI, That reference type also should be same. Reference types we can see here. So bottom level data type and reference level means we just see the difference. Here, material, this is associate type. Okay, if you go inside this BAPI mat DET material, here material also again component type is matter. Here data type is character 18 characters. In function models, if there is a character, if there is 18 characters length, left side, right side also should be character 18. That is enough. But when it comes to the BAPI, we don't need to check. Data type anyway, that should be matched. Along with the data type, this associate type also should be matched. If you use MATNET directly, it will not work. It will throw the errors. So we need to use this data types. Okay, I'm just creating one parameter p underscore material mat type. We should use the same data type. Here we can directly use a MATNET data element, but here it is not the MATNET data type, right? It is associated with this type. We need to use the same reference p underscore matnr. For these two data types also we should use same whatever is maintained in BAPI level. Open this BAPI. In code level it is importing, means when it comes to the function model it is comes under exporting. So BAPI mat DOA and BAPI return. So both are work areas we have to create because we will get only single entry. Importing will support the single value or single record. It will not support for multiple entries. So that should be created under the tables. Okay. LS material, local structure, material, work area material also we can create. LS material type BAP mat DOA. That LS material we have to write here. And next return one also we have to create as a work area. LS return type BAPI, right? That is a type. We have to use LS return here. Check connected. If you remember all the function models, next to the function model, we have size of bus not equal to 0, size of bus not equal to 0 is there. In previous report, you might observe that based on that only in else part is kind of success, and we wrote BDC code also every else part, right? Because else part is a success, we use that code. But here if size of bus will not come because BAPI, we don't need to use size of bus and all because here we don't have any exception parts and all. Exceptions are not there. We'll get all messages in this structure LS return. So LS return with reference of BAPI return. If you go here, BAPI return, we have some structure, 9 columns. We have type of the message. S means success error, E means error, W means warning, info about messages. Code, which message code? What is the message? What is the number? Message number. What is the value of the message? V1, V2, V3, V4. This is only common for every messages. In standard messages, we can use 4 placeholders. 4 placeholders means on single messages where 4 placeholders are there, we can push the dynamic data. We can use the same message, but in the placeholders, we can replace the content. If you want, I'll show FC91 on standard structure. Maximum we can use 4 placeholders in single message. Okay. You see here, 0, 1 read, 0, 2 lines. What is 0? &1 read, &2 lines, &1, &2 are the placeholders. Okay. Maximum 4 placeholders are there. If more than then, it will be using only 4 placeholders. Those 4 placeholders can be push the data into V1, V2, V3, V4. In BAPIs or BDCs, in all the structures, this V1, V2, V3, V4 is there. Even in system environment variables also V1, we have this V1, V2, V3, V4. Those placeholders data will come in this positions. Okay. And message number, message, code of the message, type. So using this type, we can write the conditions. So this if ls return hyphen type equals to or we can write not equals to E. Not equal to E means it is either success or warning. We can display those message, right? ls written iPhone message. So where we can write this message if there is an error message. Else, if it is not equal to E means success. Success case, we have to display the material content. ls material iPhone, we need to use fields. I'll use 4 fields. Material description, material type. If this content is displayed, then we have a data of this material. If it is not displaying, we'll get this error message. What is this? Return. Less material component material type. BAPI. Yes. Yes or con. Activate this report and then execute. So materials we can select from F4 option because we also gave the reference of MATNR. MATNR is associated with MAT collective elementary search help. So this is the collective elementary search. Okay. You can select any of the material in this execute. We have the material type, material group. It is display. If I give some wrong value, if I execute, this material does not exit or it is not activated. From where this is coming, this message? This is coming in ls message. So this is displaying. From where this is coming from BAPI. So BAPI is handling all the messages. Is this clear, guys, how this report is implemented? You have to write here startup selection if it is actual report. The selection screen. The declaration part. So reading of data because BAPI is reading the data. This we are using for display. Don't consider this as a report. This is basic report. We will not write this kind of reports. We have to write for this very basic. We will not use this kind of BAPIs. BAPIs always will be part of the applications, big applications, which is having 2,000, 3,000 lines of code where we had wanted to use the BAPIs and all. Only for BAPI material get detail, only for to display the material information, we don't need to write BAPI here. This kind of report, we will write only simple select query for these 3 inputs. To display these 3 values, we don't need this BAPI to call because unnecessarily it will call other data. Also, we have other fields, everything will be loaded. Single select query is enough for this 3 fields to be displayed, right? That we already wrote those kind of select queries. So BAPIs will be part of the some enhancements or some complex applications where we want material along with some other information. That time we'll use this BAPIs now, or for communication purpose we'll use. But why I wrote this report, we need to understand how to declare this selection screen parameters or how to declare these data types. Okay, is this clear? How to use BAPI in the reporting level, reporting or enhancement or anywhere in the programming level. It can be
Kishore, this BAPI API, it's for communicate with the other outside system, right? Like mainly use.
Yes, yes. We have many ways to communication. BAPI is IDOCs also there.
Okay. Okay, Kishore.
Communication part I'll show you in external debugging how to call another system object and all, how to debug external system BAPIs and all. Okay.
Okay.
So we need to understand how to identify the BAPI for the requirement and how to use that BAPI in the programming, not in the reporting level. It can be any kind of programming. It can be enhancements, or it can be function module, or it can be any other reporting where we are implementing ABAP code. Okay, most of the enhancements or module pool also we can use BAPIs. Anywhere wherever there is ABAP code, we can use the BAPI if the requirement comes and we need to read the data and display on the screen, or display, or can also be used for processing of some data, right? Based on this BAPI data, we can calculate something and we can display on the screen. Okay. Suppose if you don't have the BAPI, then we need to create a custom BAPI. We'll see that those steps how to create custom BAPIs. We have to follow some naming convention.